I'm talking about what they preached and what they talked to the American people about, more so than what they're doing. The kind of messages that they were disseminating was incredibly uncomfortable to listen to and to hear. And I thought that it wasn't emblematic of what most Americans are thinking about. They're trying to pay their mortgages, rent, buy food and groceries, pay gas, and deal with the prices, the cost of living. And they want safety in the streets. That's primarily what most American citizens are about, trying to live in peace and harmony. And that's not something that I think either side has promoted along the way.
Stephen A. Smith methodically critiques Jake Tapper, explaining why he believes the left has leaned too far into wokeness and why Democrats need a strategic recalibration to remain competitive. He warns that the party is drifting, dangerously unsteady, and risks handing the next presidential election to Republicans without mounting any meaningful opposition.
I'm not happy with the Democratic Party. So the Democratic Party as presently constructed, it would pretty much need to be purged in order for me to assume that I would want to be associated with them and I would garner their support, because I don't like the way they've gone about doing a lot of things for a very, very long period of time. And I think that I don't view Donald Trump as winning the election. I view the Democrats as losing the election, as absolutely positively blowing.
Stephen A. Smith clarifies that his criticism isn't of liberalism itself, but of the Democratic Party's current image. He argues that the party has drifted so far into performative wokeness that even committed liberals may hesitate to publicly associate with it. In his view, this isn't principled progressivism, it's ideological excess that alienates everyday voters and sidelines common sense. Smith warns that the DNC has lost both moral focus and strategic direction, calling for an urgent internal reckoning to restore credibility. He's far from alone. Figures like Gavin Newsom have voiced similar concerns, highlighting that the party's brand has grown unappealing to large segments of the electorate. When prominent insiders raise such alarms, it signals more than routine debate. It reveals a party grappling with a genuine identity crisis.
I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that to a lot of people, but we know who the extreme left is. We know how they go about operating. We know what we lean towards when it came to open borders. We know that the spending was excessive, even though it's excessive on the Republican side as well. I think a $37 trillion budget, when Republicans try to act like it's just the Democrats, that's not true. But the Democrats certainly shouldn't be absolved from blame in that regard. Certainly with identity politics, woke culture, cancer culture, I thought that was something that ravaged our nation psychologically, because you had people literally scared they were going to lose their jobs if they pronounced the wrong pronoun, for crying out loud. They got that.
Left-wing critics claim President Trump is targeting free speech by suing media outlets for allegedly spreading false information, but this argument ignores recent precedent. Under the Biden-Harris administration, critics of the mainstream narrative were often deplatformed or silenced online, highlighting a striking double standard. Stephen A. Smith emphasizes that defending free speech doesn't mean immunity from legal consequences for misinformation, especially when disputes go through the courts rather than government enforcement. The irony is heightened by reports that the administration communicated with tech companies about content moderation. Those who largely stayed silent then now present themselves as champions of free speech, condemning Trump for actions they previously tolerated or ignored.
I think that that's one of the reasons that Donald Trump is in office today, because so much stuff, a lot is focused on the individual as opposed to actual policies itself. I'm talking about what they preached and what they talked to the American people about, more so than what they're doing. The kind of messages that they were disseminating was incredibly uncomfortable to listen to and to hear. And I thought that it wasn't emblematic of what most Americans are thinking about. They're trying to pay their mortgages, rent, buy food and groceries, pay gas, and deal with the prices, the cost of living. And they want safety in the streets. That's primarily what most American citizens are about, trying to live in peace and harmony. And that's not something that I think either side has promoted along the way.
Stephen A. Smith argues that the Democrats' message has failed to resonate with everyday Americans. Instead of tackling shared concerns, like rising gas prices, inflation, economic uncertainty, and public safety, the party narrowed its focus to niche causes and far-left priorities, leaving ordinary voters feeling overlooked. In Smith's view, Democrats mistook moral posturing for genuine leadership, producing a message that felt distant and out of touch. The consequence is clear. When voters sense they're ignored, they don't just disengage, they vote against you. This disconnect continues to shape modern electoral outcomes across the country.
I would say they're absolutely right. I'm not prepared. I'm not qualified. I have no political history whatsoever. I've never been interested in politics a day in my life. How did I come to this conclusion where I've left the door open? I'll tell you how. Elected officials have come up to me. Folks in the streets of America come up to me every single day. Not only that, my own pastor, A.R. Bernard from Christian Cultural Center in Brooklyn, New York, said to me, show respect to people who love and support you by leaving the door open, because you never know what God has planned for you or for us as a nation.
Some are now speculating about Stephen A. Smith as a potential presidential candidate, a surprising notion given he's never held elected office, which naturally raises questions about experience and governance. Yet in today's political climate, authenticity often carries more weight than traditional credentials. Smith speaks plainly, avoids scripted talking points, and critiques all sides when necessary, projecting moderation and steadiness. He focuses on real, everyday concerns rather than abstract ideological battles, and he isn't trapped in the woke echo chamber that has alienated many voters. Even considering him highlights how much trust in the political establishment has eroded and how Americans increasingly value candor over polish.
I realize right now, and I'm saying this facetiously because I know that you do, Jake, doing what you do every single day. Do you realize that if you are an elected official, your real work is with the campaign? Once you get into office, literally you can get away. I'm talking about the nation's capital specifically, not state and local politics, just the nation's capital. You realize that you can literally go on Capitol Hill and all your job is to do is to disagree with the other side. You don't even have to do anything else. Whatever the other side feels, you feel the opposite. That's not.
Stephen A. Smith argues that modern politics has become toxic, with entrenched ideological camps, endless partisanship, and an obsession with image over substance. Debate has been replaced by shouting, compromise dismissed as weakness, and voters feel ignored while politicians chase short-term victories and media optics. Smith stresses that leadership should prioritize the nation above ego, party, or spectacle, focusing on real issues that affect everyday Americans: economic stability, public safety, and opportunity. Authenticity, accountability, and principled dialogue, not performative gestures or ideological extremes, are what the country urgently needs. He acknowledges that stepping into politics would be a challenge, yet believes a centrist, common-sense approach could resonate because Americans are exhausted by division and performative politics. Praise from figures like Trump may be double-edged, but the core principle remains. Leadership is measured by putting the nation first, fostering unity, and tackling real problems. Whether calling out wokeness, defending free speech, or demanding accountability from both parties, Smith's message is clear. Healing politics starts with honesty, balance, and prioritizing the American people over partisan games.